Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. Just back with a quick little update for today. Going to give you a couple short little videos today. First one we're going to start with the ECHL Central Division standings. Going to give you a little bit of a real-time analysis as to what's going on in terms of the playoff numbers. Finally got the tiebreakers figured out, so going to go ahead and give you a quick little update as to what has happened this week as far as the live numbers for that go. And then after that, we're going to move on, and then I'm going to have separate videos for the North, South, and Mountain divisions. We're going to do those. After I do all of that, then we're going to do a short little video as to my reaction to the Fuel game last night. Obviously not the result that the team wanted. Played better, but still got some work to do. But again, that's in a video coming a little bit later this afternoon, but we're going to get started with the ECHL Central Division. So this week already, Toledo grabs their 40th win of the year. And again, we're just doing pure numbers in terms of tiebreakers go. Magic number 5 to eliminate Fort Wayne, 8 for Indy, down to 13 for Cincinnati. Still 15 overtime losses. They did grab their third overtime win, or excuse me, yep, that was their third overtime win of the year. With now 219 goals, 444 against. For Cincinnati, they did grab their 38th victory of the season, dropping Fort Wayne's elimination number down to 5 and Indy down to 8. Cincinnati did score 3 goals, while allowing just 1 to the Heartlanders. For Indy, they lose their third overtime game of the season. They're 36-21, 3-0 now, with now 210 goals for and 177 against. Fort Wayne grabbed their 30th win of the year, dropping Iowa's elimination number down to 3, Kalamazoo down to 8, Wheeling down to 7. Fort Wayne with 218 goals prior to last night. They scored 5 and allowed 3. For Wheeling, they won their 25th game. They've won 2 games so far this week. So those 2 wins drop Iowa's elimination number down to 9, Kalamazoo down to 13. Still, again, 4 overtime wins for the Nailers so far this year, including one last night. They're 25-35 and 0. So far this week, Wheeling has been able to score 12 goals. They're up to 187 on the year, while allowing 7. And then for Kalamazoo, still sitting on 23 victories, lose their 31st game in regulation, dropping that elimination number into 3 there. For third place down to 7, for the playoffs down to 12 for 5th place. 23-31, 4-0 for the Wings. They scored 3 goals last night. And allowed 5 to the Comets. While Iowa's still sitting on 15 regulation victories, they lose their 31st game in regulation this year, dropping their elimination number down to 2, 8, and 10, respectively. Iowa scored just 1 goal. 152 now they've scored in the season. Have allowed 220. So again, just looking at the magic numbers, Toledo's magic number to clinch the division is still 13. That is still the case. Again, by virtue of their tiebreakers, though, right now they are +4 on Cincinnati. On regulation wins, that is the number 1 tiebreaker in the ECHL. So, with that being said, you can drop that number down by 4, and every time they get another regulation win. So, in reality, their magic number is 9 to clinch the division. As far as Indy goes, they are +4 in that as well. So, the Fuel's elimination number for the division is 4. For Fort Wayne, they are -11. So, Fort Wayne is eliminated in terms of being able to clinch the division because again, just they're -11 in terms of what their magic number is. But again, that magic number is 5, or their elimination number is 5. But again, I think we can just take 1 off of that in terms of the tiebreaker. So we can drop that down to actually we can take 2 off, I believe, is what that is because it's basically a regulation loss. So take 2 off of that. The magic number is 3 for Toledo. So I believe that Fort Wayne, if they lose, I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and take a look here. As soon as my app decides whether or not it wants to cooperate with me. Fort Wayne this week. They're at Indy tonight, and then are at Cincinnati tomorrow. Toledo is in Kalamazoo tonight, and I believe they're actually off tomorrow. Yep, they are off tomorrow. So they're in Kalamazoo tonight. Their next game will be at home. They will have 4 more home games to finish out the month of March. They're home against Reading before Greenville comes into town on the 25th and the 26th. And then March 31st, they will close out the month at home against the Iowa Heartlanders. So, again, with the magic number being 4 by virtue of the tiebreaker for Fort Wayne, we'll go ahead and just call it 4. We can go ahead and pretty much determine that Fort Wayne is not going to be able to clinch or be able to win the division. The same thing with Cincinnati. Cincinnati is +7 on Fort Wayne. Again, Toledo has the fewest games remaining now of any team in the Central Division with only 11 games left. But pretty much Toledo and Cincinnati are running away with the division. Fort Wayne is about to be eliminated. The Fuel are about their magic number again for elimination from the division is 8, as well as second place. So they're pretty close to being eliminated from both the division and second place. They're pretty close to clinching that 3rd spot. Again, their magic number right now, by virtue of their tiebreakers, because they're so far ahead on tiebreakers on both Kalamazoo and Wheeling, they're +13 on Wheeling. Wheeling's only got 12 games left, and they're +17 on Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo with 14 games left, so they have clinched the tiebreaker over both of those teams. And again, by virtue of that, it's pretty much guaranteed that the Fuel they can clinch tonight if Wheeling does lose, and then the Fuel win. So there is that for the Central Division. We'll get a lot more in depth with this later on this week. Again, as I kind of work things out. Again, I just now got it set with the tie-breaking numbers, excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and get that sorted out a little bit more over the weekend, and when I come back on Monday and give you the in-depth look at the 4 divisions, we'll have a little bit clearer of a picture. Again, the fact that Toledo only plays 1 more time tonight makes a little bit of a difference. The fact that Cincinnati does play twice, taking one of those games in hand, that is the game in hand that they have on Indy. So I do believe that, yeah, because Cincinnati plays Fort Wayne tomorrow. So Cincinnati will play their game in hand on Indy. They still have 2 games in hand on Toledo, so they will catch up on that, I believe, later this week or next week, I believe it is. But we'll get all that sorted out again later on Monday. But that is the Central Division look for today, March 18th.